What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Saturn, and I have another banger of an interview. This evening, I'm joined by a dangerous, no nonsense finisher fighting out of Michigan, Justin the Nightmare Street. This is a man who does not get paid by the hour, all action, all violence. Justin, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, buddy. So, Florida, man, you've always been you're a Florida native.
No, I go there for my training camps. And that's it, and that's that.
Okay, okay, and believe you just had a fight in November, right? Early
Yeah,
November. So
November 1st. Yes,
you
sir.
you got a W, man. How'd you feel after that, buddy? Yes, congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate it. Honestly, it wasn't my best performance. Going into the fight, I felt great. I had a great training camp. I was dealing with kidney stones, and
Yeah,
all that it played a factor. So going into the fight, my legs were like giving out on me, like going numb. It kind of felt like I was in quicksand. So it was just it just wasn't, really what I expected or how the fight to go,
right.
honestly. But we were able to dig deep and fight, for our cause that we were going out there to, our mission to begin with was to fight for Alex Bello Ortiz,
Nice.
and that's what we went in there and we did that. So,
Good, good. Yeah, buddy. Congratulations, man. Is there have you guys locked down another fight or what's going on with that?
no, not yet. I'm hoping February for Knuckle Mania. I'm hoping, fingers
Okay.
crossed.
Yeah.
Nothing's in the works yet. We're still kind of going through, the appointments to get, the kidney stones removed and get my health right. So,
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. So that's still in the process of clearing those bastards out?
oh yeah, yep. I go on the 30th, and that's when they'll get rid of them all,
Okay.
or get rid
Okay.
of the one
The
that's
one.
as big as it's as
Gotta
big
stay
as
off
my
them
kid.
sodas, or I hear it's stress too. Stress and
It's the
sodas.
weight cuts. It's
Is it?
it's the weight cuts, man. I mean, it's you lose, 34, 35 pounds. It plays a factor.
You can imagine, dude. I mean, I don't train. I don't think I have it in me to do what you guys do. You guys have a lot of freaking balls to get in there and do some freaking bare knuckle, man. And I mean, the last time I got into a fight was probably like a freshman year, and I got my ass handed to me. I'm straight.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. And from that day forward, I knew, nah, it's not for me, man. I'd rather just
Yeah.
be a diplomat or something, just do the talking. So,
Yeah, no, see, I've been fighting my whole life. I mean, it started, when I was at a very young age. I got two older brothers and one younger
Mm.
brother. So I mean, growing up, I mean, we are constantly, butting heads, fighting around, whatever. And then, just growing up in a rough neighborhood in general,
Yeah,
it plays a factor, and also being the only white family in the neighborhood, that also plays a factor. So you kind of learn how to fight back to back as you're growing up, and you know,
yeah,
it all played a factor to, who I am today and
yeah.
why, I am the fighter I am today. So
That's right.
I
That's right.
can't, you got to only think it and embrace it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it reminds me of the movie The Warriors. Remember that movie? The Warriors with
Oh yeah.
trying to have to make it back home and fight all these different gangs.
Oh yeah.
Good times, dude. All right.
Brotherhood to the fullest.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. So you were in MMA, right? You started off in MMA, believes a little bit of UFC. How was that?
Yeah, so I did MMA. It was like 13 years. I did MMA for. I did amateur. I had a very good amateur record. I was 12-2, as an amateur before. I won four different titles. I was the number one prospect in the state of Michigan, as well. I was number three worldwide, and then I decided to go pro. However, when I chose to go pro, I did it with no management team behind me.
Mm,
So as you know how that goes, I was kind of being fed to wolves
the
and being
Wolves.
lied to by promoters about who the guy is and what his fight style is and his record and everything else. So Um, I then chose to, I was getting ready to hang up my gloves or, call it quits or whatever else. And then I seen that bare knuckle came out. And when bare knuckle came out, they were doing tryouts in Alabama. This was about, oh, 3.5, 4 years ago now. And, I was like, gosh, it sounds like a great idea. I said, but I just don't think I'm going to make the drive to Alabama. And,
Yeah.
my wife, she was, of the time, she was like, hey, I think that you should. I think bare knuckle is where you belong. I think that you'd be stupid not to try it. I said,
Yeah,
yeah, but
let's
the
try.
tryouts are in Alabama. Like, are
Yeah.
you really trying to drive 12.5 hours to Alabama to do this, And she goes, yeah, let's rent a car and let's do it. So
Hell yeah.
we threw my son in the car, who was, I think, 6 months, 7 months at the time, threw him in the car and off we were, so.
Like a Rocky story, man. And especially it's great when you have a good support system at home, man. And a wonderful wife backing you up. She says, "Hell yeah, we're gonna go." I mean, sky's the limit when you got some support like that, man. So I respect
Well, I
that.
mean, it's huge. I mean, especially in the fight world, man. I mean, if you don't have the support behind you and the people backing you, it makes it hard. Especially, us fighters. I don't know about I can't speak for anybody else but myself, but I know I
Right.
deal with a lot of mental, put downs myself. You know what I'm saying? So you have your days where you wake up and you just feel like you have no motivation whatsoever to, put that extra foot in front of the other, and you have to really dig deep, And so when it comes to, having a support system, it really benefits you because, on those bad days that they help you pick they help pick you back up and put you where your mind needs to be.
Yeah, dude. So here, how long have you guys been married? You know, I'm asking.
uh so we've been together 8 years, married for 5.
Good. Good. So she knows you pretty damn well, huh?
Yeah, like the back of her hand.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Um, you're a pretty exciting fighter, dude. There's a
I
lot
mean,
of
that's my goal.
yeah, I mean that's how you I that's one thing that I know. The more I watch the sport and the more I interview fighters, the more I understand like the inwards of the promotion of the company. And then for sure is one thing that David Feldman likes is excitement. And you definitely put on a show, bro. That's why I had to reach out. I'm glad I found you on Facebook. I think you're on Instagram too, huh?
Yeah, yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
Instagram, Facebook, and then somehow I have what do they call that? A TikTok? Somehow somehow I have a TikTok, so I don't know how that happened, but
Oh my god, it's funny because I created TikTok for the interviews just to promote the interviews and the fighters, and I saw my initials pop up, like persons you may know from your contacts. And I was like, maybe I try to make a TikTok, but I was like, just being on there is like crazy, so I probably just gave it up. So that's probably what
yeah.
happened for you, buddy. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna start one, and then you saw what the
I've
hell was.
never even been on it. Honest truth, I've never been on TikTok. I've never done anything with TikTok. So to just to see like I have a profile, it's like, whoa, hey, where'd this come from? But I'm always getting notifications like, oh, hey, you may know, or people you may know. I'm like, okay, I don't even know I have a TikTok.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
all right.
shoot. They probably do that shit on purpose though, you know? They probably do it and then I don't know. I don't The internet is a weird thing, dude. Super
No,
freaking
it
weird thing.
really is. Yeah, it really is. It's
Uh,
scary.
yeah, it's for sure, dude. Especially nowadays, man. A lot of people get too comfortable on the internet, and I gotta admit, sometimes I do too, but I gotta check myself.
Yeah. No, I get it. But yeah, no, being a fighter that likes to get the crowd involved.
Yeah,
That's always been my goal. That's my passion. I fight. I don't fight for myself. I fight for the people. And if I'm
right.
not, the people. What do the people have to look up for if they don't have somebody in there giving them their all? And that's
Exactly.
and seeing watching us fight or seeing us fight and seeing somebody live up to their dream could be that positive point to where they're able to turn that corner and their depression or whatever else and be better off. So I mean that's my goal. That's I fight for the poor. I fight for the people. I mean that's it, man. I grew up poor and my family grew up poor, so that's what I fight for, man. I don't want no family left behind.
That's right. That's right. And I like that you guys really do give it all, and you guys leave it all out there for the fans. And I like doing these interviews. I like diving deep. It's like what you just said right now, like sometimes you have an off day and you really gotta dig deep. We all go through this, man. We all go through a moment where like, man, we don't want to do this. I maybe just to get up for work sometimes, I mean I still go because I'm gonna be homeless, but
Yeah.
um But, so I do it so fans can get to know you and maybe even get some inspiration from you fighters. So I appreciate you taking the interview, opening up and everything. So you're the man.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. So what is something about you, dude, that fans would never expect? Cause you come out there fighting strong. What's it like outside of fighting and working out, dude? Like what's something that we do never expect from you?
Uh,
I
mm,
mean, do you tap dance, bro? Do you yo-yo
no,
master?
I write poetry.
There
In
you
all
go.
honesty, I mean, I sit back and I write, and I get into my notebook, listen to my music, and fall deep into my writing.
See, I knew there was something. I knew it was more to it than a fight.
Yeah, I try to keep it secret because the more you let it out, then they're like, oh, well, I want to see a poem, or I want to see,
I
So,
actually crossed my mind right now too. I was gonna say,
yeah,
give
see,
us a
I mean, I did an interview after I think after I fought Rambo, they asked me, they're like, oh, what do you do outside of the ring, blah, blah, blah. And they got it out of me. I ended up telling them, and they're like, oh, we're going to get you to write a poem and we're going to see whose is better. I'm like, no, I'm
no,
not. I'm not doing
that's
it.
private. That's a private thing. That's
Yeah,
probably where
that's my
you
private.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
um what do you do for a living, brother? What's your day job? I mean,
I do concrete, man. I'm a concrete guy. Um, home repair finisher. That's what we do. We're grinders.
Well, yeah, dude. It's funny. It's funny how not funny, but it's interesting how most of the fighters that I interview are in some kind of construction esque jobs, and it kind of shows what a roughneck would be, like they're doing some hardcore work, grinding it out, and then going to fight in the evenings and stuff. I don't know. I must go hand in hand or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I got kids. I mean, my 6-year-old son. He's expensive.
Yeah,
So
and you want.
I gotta, you gotta bring it in, man. So
I hear you, dude. I hear you. um,
this damn Fortnite, dude. I don't
Oh
know.
my god, dude, for real? So maybe he's probably asking you for those bucks or whatever, those
Yeah,
online
yeah. I need Robux. I need this. I need V-Bucks. I need
V-bucks.
this. I'm like, man, dude, no.
Damn, we didn't have none of that back in our days. You bought the
Yes,
video game and that was it.
that was it. You didn't have
Mm,
nothing else to worry about, dude. And it was go outside and play.
yeah.
Go play bike tag. Go play football. Go.
Yes. Uh-oh. Boop, boop, boop. There you go. Coming back, coming back.
Here we go.
All right, all right. Yeah, dude, it's crazy how times change. I can only imagine what it's gonna be like in another 30 years. I wonder if kids are even gonna be out. Well, I don't know. It's crazy to think how life is gonna be in 30 years. Because look how
Oh, it's
far
mind blowing.
yeah, right? Like, just our generation to our kids' generation is like, damn, we don't
The technology alone. I mean, it's incredible to see just the growth from when I was a child to what these kids have today. It's mind blowing,
yeah.
dude.
Um, so other than your wife, who I'm sure is your biggest supporter, are your brothers involved in fighting? Do they support you in any way? Family, mom, dad? How's your relationship, with
Uh,
your family, close
so
family?
close family. I mean, I would probably say my youngest brother. Um, I'm closest with him. That's like my best friend.
Oh, that's good.
Uh, but I mean, none of them fight. None of them are the fighters. They're all, they all do their jobs. They all, live their life. But
Of course.
none of them ever took to fighting. I would say my older brother. I mean, he used to work at a bar. I would say probably that was the most fighting he's done. But uh, nothing ever in a ring. And
Okay.
I'm the only one that's ever had those, I
But
don't know,
you
stupidity enough to do that.
don't say that. Oh my god, you ain't stupid, man. You're brave. Like I said at the beginning, bro, it takes a lot of fucking balls to do something like that, man. Whew. You guys
Yeah,
are
no, I'll
all
tell you, man. I always tell my wife. I said, in my past life, I have visions of like I used to be like a gladiator and whatever else, dude, in my past life, and I feel like, like today, like I'm the modern day gladiator,
right.
like that's the way I look at it, and I have to live up to that, So when I, step foot into that ring and, I give my two taps on the ring mat before I do my circle around and, send, praise to all my fallen members that fought in the ring or, aren't with us anymore. So,
Yeah, dude. Um, you
uh,
mentioned something about not being with us anymore. I don't know if I did. If I go to private, you just say, "Hey, I don't want to talk about that." It's totally cool. Did you lose anybody or any good friends or anything? That sounded like maybe you were referring to somebody.
no. So I mean, my last fight, I fought for a uh, um, fallen cadet. He was murdered, I guess you could say. Well, not, I guess you could say it's what happened. There's video footage of it. There's everything. However, the murderer still walks today. So. I'm fighting for his justice, his family's justice. I'm very affiliated with the family. So that was what my last fight was for, and that's what I will be fighting, or who I will be fighting for every time I step into that ring.
Good, good. I want to make sure I clip that out just to throw it out there, throw it out. That you're showing your support and you're fighting for something like that. That's very commendable, bro. You know,
Like I said, I fight for the people, man.
yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the freaking entertaining entertainment you guys give us because it's cool, man. I love the sport, dude. I love it. Um, when you're training, dude, I'm assuming you have earbuds on, or is you just go with whatever's playing, or yeah.
Earbuds, they are, I
What's
go
your
everywhere.
go-to music when you're training, dude? What pumps you up?
I listen to a lot of Roy Jones Jr.
Okay.
I don't know, something about it just gets me going. The Rocky Balboa soundtrack,
Yes, sir.
Eminem. I listen to my walkout song, and then I have like a lot of motivational music that I listen to, like speeches.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's pretty much
Do you have a favorite artist?
NF.
NF?
Yeah.
Is that short for something? I'm ignorant right now.
No, he's just literally just N.F. I mean,
Okay.
you look, Google it or YouTube or
Yeah,
whatever else,
for
and all
sure.
his music comes up.
Okay.
The person that I walk out to, I can't tell you his name. I just know the song is Our Nation. That's the song I walk out to. That song really connects with me.
Good.
I just feel like it puts my mom right next to me, who she passed away, I think, back in 2018, she passed away. So, however many years ago that is. But uh, that song really, touches, with me and makes me feel like she's right next to me when I'm stepping into that ring. So it gets me going. That's the most pumped up, that a song can get me is you listening to that one.
I can totally understand when you mention, like, I can relate when you mention, you listen to the music and it feels like your mom's right there next to you. Because, I lost somebody dear to me too. And for me, it's a little harder to listen to music and I just start crying like a baby. But her memory and stuff like that, it pushes me, when I'm feeling like those days that you mentioned, like when I just don't want to do nothing, like I just feel sad, and yeah, it really does. Music is a lifesaver. It's crazy how that works out.
No, no, it really is, man. I can't sit here and tell you on both hands how many times that music has pulled me out of that deep hole or just being able to get me up out of that bed to just go to the gym or go
Yeah.
get to that workout because once you get to that gym and you get to the workout and you're able to unleash, and you're able to feel free. And that's why I fight. That's why I get into the ring, because that's the only time where I feel like my head stops spinning, and
Hmm.
I feel free. I feel, like 1,000 pounds have been lifted off my shoulders, and
Yeah.
I can finally breathe and just feel free. It's and embrace it. It's I live for it. Like I said, and they go when you're not being able to fight and you don't have any fights scheduled up, you kind of go through like a depression stage. You
Yeah.
kind of like withdrawals. Of what I need to
Withdraws.
get back in there. Like, what am I starting to? Why don't they want me? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Did I do something wrong? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
But
I get that, dude. I freaking get that. The withdrawals. That's funny. It's like I need to get in the ring. I need to punch somebody's face.
yeah, yeah, I need blood now.
Oh my God, Justin. Justin, it's funny. Your name, your nickname, dude. Where does your nickname come from? The Nightmare yeah. What's the story behind that?
So I was nicknamed by my uncle Mike, who also passed away in 2018. Uh, he used to always tell me, before I went into the fight, my last name's Street, so he used to always tell me like when I first, joined like the MMA circuit, and my family like really got behind me. Because like I said, I went through 7 years of boxing before I even joined MMA. And when I felt like when I did boxing, my family wasn't really behind me. It was kind of more like I wouldn't say they didn't believe in me, but they didn't really take me seriously. And then, when I started like really doing good and like winning golden gloves and all that stuff, and then I was like, all right, you know what? I want to go over to MMA now, and I want to add more to my arsenal. I want to do more. I want to be able to, like brutally finish somebody, like I feel like, nobody can touch my stand up. Like I'm gonna go do MMA. So I made the switch over. A lot of it had to do with politics. My third time fighting in Golden Gloves, I felt like I was robbed. I was the defending champion, and I don't know.
That politics
They had the
sucks.
referee. Yeah, the referee was booed out of the arena, and that was it, and that was that. But life goes on. You shouldn't let it go to the judges in the first place. So I mean, it
Yes.
happens.
Yes, dude.
So you live and learn,
Yes, sir.
and you move on. So,
It's my wife used to say that when because we started off as huge UFC fans, and you just never leave it to the judges. You finish them and get out there with that win. Because politics, even if you think, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing BKFC, but there's always some kind of a hand in combat. Like there's always
oh, I
something.
mean that's just it's inedible.
Yeah,
It's inedible for there not to be. It is sad. It is Uh, it makes you kind of wonder a lot of things. It makes you question a lot of things.
yeah,
But I can honestly, I can sit here and I can tell you from being behind scenes and, watching it on TV or, whatever else, I can tell you that there's no funny games that go behind, the fight game.
yeah,
There's a red team, what I'm saying? The red side's B side, blue side's A side. And, majority of the time, I mean, you got the red guys are like, the gladiator slaves, what
yeah,
I'm saying, that are fighting for freedom, and
yeah,
the blue guys are the guys that are trying to keep them from doing that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean that's just like how it goes. I love it. Like I said, I've been the underdog in all my fights, so
Yeah,
keep
dude.
sleeping on me, and I'm gonna keep coming hard. I mean
Hell
that's
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
My
Um,
favorite part is getting hit. I mean, that's my favorite part about the fight world. And I feel like that's what separates me from a lot of the other fighters
or
is
like
that
me, I don't want to get hit.
yeah, I love it. Like there's just something about it, dude. Like I get hit and it makes me smile. Yeah, like it's funny. It's not funny, but it's just like, man, like that felt great. Like give me another one. Like here we go, dude. Like now we're fighting.
That's that freaking
And
high you're chasing, bro. That's that high.
yeah, I don't know, man. There's this that makes my whole body just like pumped up just talking about it.
Yeah, right. I can see it, dude. I can see it. Yeah, dude. So your name, bro. I was all day, man. I was just thinking about the interview, and I
Oh,
was,
so yeah, my uncle. Back to that. Yeah,
oh
my
yeah,
uncle Mike. He used to slap me in the face. He used to slap me in the face before I went into the cage before every fight. I used to go out before every fight and say hi to my family, whatever, give my family hugs and show my appreciation for them coming. And my uncle Mike would always be the last one I ran into, and he'd give me that slap across the face, and he'd go, "What's your last name?" And I'd go, "Street." He'd go, "No, I can't hear you." And he'd slap me in the face again. He'd be like, "No, what's your last name? Say it proud. You live up to that last name. You're the nightmare. You got to put the nightmare in these fighters.
that's right.
You're the nightmare street." And ever since then, it stuck. So we went out there my first MMA fight. I ended up winning in the first round, and then they announced it, and it was just ever since that day I was like,
It
"Oh
sounded
yeah,
cool,
that's
yeah.
yeah, that was sick."
It does sound cool, dude. Nightmare Street, dude. Nightmare
Yeah.
Street. Like, come on,
It's like
don't walk.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say, dude.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street. All right, good, because I was curious about that. I'm glad that you shared that with us. um, what do you do? I know you're a family man. What's it like? How do you work out being a dad, husband, and going out there and kicking ass? How does that even work out in your guys' schedule?
Well, dude, honestly, like my son is the greatest. I mean, I have the best 6-year-old son you could ever ask for. I mean, the kid does everything with me. He's right by my side. He's like my shadow. I mean, I go to the gym, he goes to the gym with me. I go, he's been in the gym since he was when he was his first born. I used to bring him in the car seat and I used to set him up. I mean, he'd be all crabby, crying, whatever else. I'd set him up, and he'd be watching us spar or watching us just do our, the drills, go through the training sessions, and he would just be quiet and he would just zone in. And
Okay.
then ever since then, he's been in the gym. Now he's 6 years old. He's been in the gym since, and he's like my motivation. He's like, "Dad, come on, one more. Dad, come on.
No
Let's get.
shit.
Dad, come on, Dad, you can beat him. Dad, come on, you suck, Dad. What are you doing? So it's like, all right, dude, I got you. All right, so I got to be better. My head move. So uh, that's what it's all about, man.
That's a awesome bond, dude. That's I'm kind of envious to hear that in a positive way, of course. It's like,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, so that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I like that. Um, when you're not fighting, dude, like, I mean, you mentioned, yeah, if it's been a while since you're fighting, between your fights, and you start getting maybe a little depressed or something, or that withdrawal starts kicking in. Is there anything you do outside of fighting that might fill that void? I mean, you guys like theme parks? Do you guys go on vacation or anything like that, or what's something that you guys enjoy doing as a family?
So me and my son, we go to the museum a lot.
Mm,
There's a nice little museum over where we live, Henry Ford Museum. Um, I take him there all the time. We walk through there and explore, and he looks really good for it. It's a really good bonding, time for him and I. So
yeah. Do you see your kiddo fighting in the future? Is that something that do you think that desire to punch somebody in the face runs in the family?
yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it runs through his blood. I mean, the already in school. I mean, I'm kind of already running into a couple little problems, a little hiccups here and
Yeah,
there. Like he knows that where we do this is at the gym. He does know that, but he definitely, when a kid, says something, he's quick to just pop off. So it's been a little bit of a struggle this year. First grade.
oh
You get
man,
kids that are a little bit more mouthy and
yeah,
a little bit more verbal.
yeah.
Verbal abusive. So he's had a couple fights already this year. So I mean, I definitely see in the near future, him fighting because he's got that fire in his belly just like his dad does. So I mean, um, do I hope that he ends up just being like a good coach or a
Yeah,
corner, something like that instead of actually stepping into the ring? Of
yeah,
course,
of course.
but it's always his choice at the end of the day. Will I push for it? Of course, I'll teach him everything I know. But I'd rather him pick his own destiny,
Good,
his own path.
good man, man, good man. How did you even get into BKFC? Like, did you get a phone call? Your coach said, "Hey, we need some fighters. They're asking for a fighter." Or how'd that even come to kind of be?
Uh-uh. So when I went to the tryouts in Alabama, I never heard anything back. It was like kind of a little discouragement. I
Hmm.
was like, oh damn, I didn't get picked out of all these people. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, I thought I was the best one there. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, you know? Like, what's going on here? You
Yeah.
know, like, why aren't you wanting to talk to me? What's not good about my
Yeah.
story? You know, like, but it was at the time I didn't have the followers. You
Yeah.
know, and that's what it all boiled down to. And so I went out there, I showed my talents. They weren't really, oh yeah, they can move around. Oh yeah, he's got great head movement, but what's his story? And no one, they never really got the chance to hear my story. And so when I left that tryout, never heard anything back. I was getting ready to hang up my gloves, and that was it. I was gonna call it quits. And then I had a management team reach out to me, Ape Gorilla Management or Ape Management or something like that. I think it was called. They reached out to me and they wanted to sign me. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm gonna finally get my chance in BKFC. Like, here it is. So um, and they had me matched up with Alberto Blas,
Mm.
um, who was happened to be the 135 champion and everything else, and they had me matched up with him, and that's who I was supposed to make my debut against and everything else. Had the poster all made for it and everything. Like I'm getting the poster sent to me. Oh, they're telling me to post it on my page. I'm like, okay, like this is really about to
This is
happen,
happening.
I'm like, well, how come I haven't gotten the contract yet? Like, are you guys still gonna send the contract over? Like, what's going on? And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're getting it to you. Oh yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it." I'm like, all right." And then next thing you know, I see this guy fighting on TV, and I'm like, "Dude, I still haven't heard anything. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Like I thought I was supposed to fight him on,
Yeah.
this date. Why is he fighting now? And then come to find out, like I would never hear anything back from these guys. So then I'm like, all right, bro, like this, they're a bunch of scammers. Like whatever. So then I reached out to Eric Lozano,
Hmm.
and he's a really good friend of mine. And I said, hey, man, if you don't mind me asking, who's your manager? Like I see you're in the bare knuckle circuit. Like, who's your manager, bro? Like, help me out here. So he hooked me up with Carlos. Um, and that was it. I got met with Carlos. Carlos actually called me, and we talked for about a good 45 minute to an hour long conversation. He got me out of the contract that I was in with Eight Management, and then he was able to get me my debut and a couple other fights after that. And then I was not, I wouldn't say forced, but I would say as I grow into the scene, I was kind of I felt like I needed to make a change and with management and just with different coaching and just just a different approach. So I then switched over to Storm Management and signed with Storm Management. And since then, I feel like signing with them, I feel like my career is just beginning. It has just begun. Out of 19 years of fighting, 20 years of fighting, competing, I feel like it's finally just begun. And uh, it's the coaching that I get out of Smith Brothers. It's the coaching that I get here back at home. The guys that push me in the gym. My family that pushes me to be better outside of the ring. It all just plays a factor, man. Like you were saying in the beginning, the support system is everything.
Hmm.
And as a fighter, I mean, and I can, speak for myself. I can tell you that when, you have those long days at work and you got to go to the gym after work and,
But
after a nice long 10-hour shift of work, and then you got to go put in 4 hours at the gym. It adds up, it plays a factor with your mental when you spend all that time away from your family, you spend, uh, the blood, sweat, and tears, that you dread on the mat, so you dread at work, it all builds up, it all plays that mental part, and I always say you got to keep one foot in front of the other, and the world spins as much as we move.
that's
So
right.
if the world's spinning, we're able to put one foot in front of the other.
That's right. That's right. I like that. I like that. Is that some of that poetry coming out or what?
A little bit.
Hell
You get a
yeah.
little bit.
um, do you remember? Okay, here's a question I like asking all fighters. I like to, although you guys seem supernatural sometimes, it's good to know that regardless of the warrior aspect of your life, that you guys are human beings just like the rest of us. Do you feel nervous, dude? Is nervousness something that that it goes with you into your fights either before or like months before, or is that a thing to you?
Of course. I mean, if you don't get nervous before a fight or you don't get nervous before stepping into that ring, then I might have to say something's wrong with you.
Yeah, I was about to say
Um,
psychotic or
you
something.
know, like I mean, anytime that I've never been nervous getting into the ring, something's always went wrong.
Yeah,
So I feel like it's good to get nervous. I feel like it's good to get that butterfly because it means that good things are coming, you
yeah,
know. So um, I get nervous before every fight. Anytime, anytime I step into the ring, before we do, hardcore, sparring on Fridays, I mean, I get nervous sometimes because, it's that you got to step up to live to to expectations when you're in the gym. Everyone looks up to you, as, oh, you're the bare knuckle fighter, so when you spar these younger fighters coming up, man, you really got to step up your game, especially with their they're killers.
yeah.
We have a lot of upcomers in our gym that uh, oh man. Like I said, if it wasn't for those guys pushing me day in and day out, I wouldn't be the fighter I am today. So
Good, good. I want you to. We're gonna have a little segment in a little bit. I want you to just give a shout out to everybody once when we get there. Everybody who supports you. That way, I'll clip that, send it to you, and or whatever. But yeah, because I think it's very good to be appreciative of the people that support you too, man, and back you up and push you. So that's big. That's big for me, man. Because my one of my biggest support systems was my wife, and then my parents. Kind of like you mentioned earlier. They kind of they didn't think I was too serious about it or whatever, and as far as these interviews, they thought it was a joke at first, and now they see that I'm getting a little bit of traction. They're like, okay, so we'll get into that in a bit. I want to know, are you a foodie, dude? Are you like you a fat ass by nature? You like to eat?
yeah, so like I said, I cut 35 pounds, man. That's
Yeesh.
my weight cut. I walk around at, a little heavier on the 160 side,
Okay.
probably around like 165, 168. And I cut to 135. So
Phew.
I like to eat. I like cheeseburgers.
There
I'm a
you go.
cheeseburger fan.
All right.
I'll sit there and eat a cheeseburger every day. I like my gummies. So
Okay. Yeah, burgers is great. I love burgers. Burgers. I used to be a fan of pizza, but that's just too heavy for me now, and it's not a lot of
yeah,
protein
the
in it.
grease, man.
Yeah.
Every time I eat pizza, I get heartburn like crazy, and it lasts for like 3 days. I'm like, bro, just get this away from me. I don't
Yeah.
want it. Like, my kid's always like, Dad, let's get pizza. I'm like,
No.
man, come on, dude. Really? Like, that's what you want out of McDonald's, Burger King, like anything but pizza, dude.
What's your so I guess it's safe to say that burgers is your go-to cheat meal or your meal after your fights, huh?
That's shit. The burger is the first thing I go to as soon as I step off the scale.
Where do you go? Where do you go get your burgers at?
The closest burger restaurant around, man. That's we Google it wherever we are, wherever the fight schedule takes us. We Google the best burger place around. Whatever pops up, that's where we go. I mean, in Florida, it was Fuddruckers.
Yeah.
Uh, here it's I don't know what came up the last time we Googled. It was in somewhere in Mount Pleasant. I don't know.
Uh, have you ever had In-N-Out? Have you been to California?
Nope, not yet.
All right. Well, hopefully we
I
get.
have family. I have family in California, but I've never been there yet.
Shoot, I think you'll love the In-N-Out burgers. It's not, people you probably hear about it a lot, and there's like, oh, you're hyping it out. People hype it out, but nah, it's you'll like the burgers, bro. It's really good. In-N-Out. Put that on your
Okay.
on your list, all right?
I checked that off.
um. All right. So I want to just real quick dive into your youth, bro. So you mentioned that you lived in a pretty rough neighborhood. I'm assuming you always got into fights. When you were young, did you know that maybe either you wanted to be a fighter? Did you fight enough to be like, yeah, I think I might be good at this shit?
No, I always had dreams of being a boxer. I mean, that was always my dream to be either a professional boxer or a professional football player.
Okay.
Those were always my two things. Football was my passion, more so growing up as a younger kid. until about 13, 14 years old. That's when I made the switch over to boxing and really took to boxing after I had my face kicked in and everything else, dude. Getting off the bus one day, it was the one day where my younger brother was sick. Normally we went to school on the same day. He didn't go that day, and I'm getting off the bus and I get pushed in the back. I come down, bus. I look up at the bus. I'm like, "Are you gonna save me?" She drives off, dude. Just like pretty much waves at me. Next thing
Yeah.
you know, I'm getting kicked and punched and everything else, dude. So I mean, it was all for a pair of LeBron James shoes.
Damn, what the hell, dude? That
Yep.
man, pieces of shit, man. I bet you
Yeah,
they
yep.
recognize you on the TV now. But like, oh damn, look, I'm glad I'm not bumping into this guy anymore as an adult. They'll probably whoop their asses. They're probably ain't doing shit with their
Well,
life, so
if I could even remember what they look
yeah.
like,
They remember
that's
you though. I'm pretty
that,
sure.
that's fine. They can remember me, and while they're living in their trash cans or
That's right.
whatever else, they can
That's
see me
right.
growing. So,
That's right. That's right. See, most of the fighters I talk to, man, they
oh, they're probably my hidden fans. I mean,
yeah,
who knows?
yeah, creeping on your social media with a fake
Yeah,
profile picture.
yeah, something.
Oh my god, dude. So I know you're. We mentioned it. We talked that you're a family man. When you guys sit down and watch movies together, is it usually kiddo movies or what? Do you have any like?
No, it's always YouTube, man. Every time we go to sit down, the kid, I'm like, all right, let's watch a movie or let's do something, whatever. All right, Dad, I want to watch YouTube. All right, let's watch YouTube.
Yeah,
So that's what we watch the majority of the times. I lay with him, before he falls asleep. We'll watch YouTube for a little bit, and then I turn it off and he goes to sleep, and then that's when I turn on like an action movie or
yeah.
ESPN,
What's it?
something.
What's your favorite football team? Which one's your favorite football team?
Michigan, go
Michigan.
blue, baby.
All right, all right. I'm not. I'm strictly combat sports. Um, I watch it with my friends and family. They're huge Rams fans. They're Charger fans because obviously those are the teams over here on the West Coast on California.
Yep. So I live here in Detroit. So Detroit Lions, that's our team.
Yes.
I mean, I can't say I'm not a fan of Detroit Lions. I do root for them. However, I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan.
All right.
I always have been. I'm a fan of the Harbros, the Harborough brothers, Jim and John both. I think they're phenomenal coaches, and that's kind of the reason why Michigan's always been my favorite team. But when Jim Harborough came there and he was able to change our program back around and make it to what back to the powerhouse Michigan that they're known as.
So you keep up with the stats and players and all the insights.
Oh yeah, like I said, football was my passion
Yeah.
before fighting became. So I always either thought I was going to be a professional football player. Unfortunately, due to size, things were turned other directions. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, God have
Uh-oh.
C7. I broke my neck, fractured my C7.
Jeez.
I was listed as paralyzed. I was told I was never going to walk again, play contact sports, and anything like that. And I walked out of the hospital. I did the physiotherapy. I did everything that was required to me to do. And in the interim of getting my legs back, I kind of lost my hands. My like the feeling of my hands, something to do with nerves or whatever else the case may be. But I always took that as it was a sign from God, like, hey, you were given your legs to use them, but we took away the feeling in your hands to throw them. So
That's a
that's
blessing, bro.
it's a blessing.
Hell
So
yeah.
I reverted to back to boxing, and I started just concentrating more on the fight game, and here I am today, man.
Nice, nice, dude. Are you a religious man?
Uh, the more I'm getting older, I mean, I'm starting to, yeah,
Dabble a
it's
little
starting to
bit.
become more into it. Yes. Growing up, I was my mom and my father. They kind of like brought it upon us. And then when my mother passed away, that's when I kind of was like reverting from religion and just kind of didn't want nothing to do with it.
I understand.
here we are, 7 years later, almost 8 years later. It's you have things that happen that kind of make you believe again.
Yeah, tell me about it, brother. I had a strict religious background at one point. It sucks. It kind of sucks because it kind of I go back to a lot of these Bible teachings and doctrines, and it kind of forged how I think now. I mean, it's positive, but sometimes it doesn't fit most of the world and stuff. So it kind of gets a little lonely and stuff. So
Well,
I
I
get it.
completely understand that.
Yeah. Um. Well, I mean, right now, brother, you know what? Before we get to the shout outs, want to say something to the promotion, man? Maybe, obviously, you want to say, give me a damn fight, but if you want to give a message, you want to give a message, bro, go for it right now. I'll clip it, bro, and we'll upload.
No, I mean, what I have to say to BKFC is nothing but appreciation, man. Dave Feldman and the whole BKFC staff is phenomenal. Um, Great to work with. It's a pleasure to be a part of BKFC. And I can't wait to showcase my skill set one more time and more times to come for years to come. Um, as many times as BKFC has me. What I do want though is I want to definitely put a shout out to that 135 division.
Okay,
We got Reber fighting Ibarola
that's
for
right.
the 35 strap. I
Tomorrow.
would definitely like the winner of that.
Okay.
Um, to have a rematch with Ibarola would be very nice. However, I would take that fight against Reber as well. Reber's my boy. I have no respect for Reber. Me and Reber have worked together in the same gym. Have gotten in a few rounds with each other.
Nice.
I'm not gonna say who got the better,
Yeah. Okay, Rocky and Apollo.
but
Where you know how it ends? That picture ends where they punch each other and it just
yeah,
cuts.
yeah. We'll let the future time tell
Yeah, fight would
uh
be nice
who
then.
got the
Yes.
better.
Yes,
So
sir.
um I definitely want that belt wrapped around my waist. I definitely think that I deserve it. I've only lost one fight in the 135 division. And it was against Ibarola, and if you watch the fight, I mean, it's questionable. I mean, that fight goes either way, especially due to the hometown.
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't know. They missed the knockdown where he's grabbing the ropes.
Yep.
So I mean, things play factors.
Yeah.
Again, hometown judges, absolutely, you can't let it go to the judges. So
Exactly.
it's my bad at the same time. It's definitely something that I want back, but I'll get him. Like I said, time comes. When that belt comes, it'll either be him or it'll be Reber or whoever else stands in the way. I'm coming. That 135 division, I think I'm definitely the best fighter in it. So I think that belt belongs around my waist.
You're an exciting fighter, dude. Like as I mentioned earlier, so I had to reach out and try to lock down an interview with you, man. So I look forward to your next fight and or whoever your opponent may be. But now that you mentioned it, you and Ryan would be a pretty great fucking fight, like exciting fucking fight.
That would definitely be an exciting fight. Um, I mean, anyone you put in front of me,
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it an exciting fight. I mean, that's what I love to do. Even if I think that that guy doesn't belong in the same ring as me or whatever the case may be. I mean, there's always, especially in the bare knuckle scene. I mean, anything can happen. Any
yeah,
punch can land. So cuts can happen. It's definitely a different ball game.
yeah.
Especially making the switch over from MMA and boxing, to going to with no gloves. It was definitely a huge learning experience for me from my first fight to now. Like I definitely feel like I have it down, and I definitely feel like I'm only getting better with time.
Good, good. I like that. That's what I want to hear, bro. That's what I want to hear. Hey, now's your chance, brother. Your shout outs, your thanks to anybody. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, so I would like to give a shout out to all my sponsors. We got Westfit Nutrition, Mike Toller, James Benatel, with my at Stars and Strikes MMA, um, Kevin Smith at Smith Brothers, um, Henty, Adam. Those guys are phenomenal coaches. My nephew Eric Reeves, who's also an upcoming fighter. Uh, so um, uh, Wally Wonderworld, huge sponsor. Um, L George's, Coney Island, definitely a thank you. Um, yeah, to all the rest of them. I mean, I can't really think of
It's
all
all
the
good.
tops of them, but man, um,
It's all
Alex
good.
Bello Ortiz's family. I mean, a huge thank you to you guys and all your support. Um, yeah, Lisa, thank you.
All right, brother. Well, again, once again, dude, I appreciate you taking the time. What is it like 8:30, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9:30, I think.
Yeah, it's 9:30
Yeah,
here. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. So I appreciate you jumping on with me because I know it's late where you are. I look forward to your next fight, and there's a reason, and it makes sense now why your uncle gave you that name, bro. It's fucking Nightmare
Yeah,
Street, bro. That's a fact. That's a
yeah,
fact.
yes,
uh,
sir. Hey, I'll tell you what, man. If they could give me a Knuckle Mania February 7th against Chris Garcia, I've only been begging for the last 3 years. I mean, let's make something fucking happen,
dude,
please.
I like that.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
how many times can this guy run from me? I've given him shout outs on almost everything. Every podcast I've done, that's the guy I call out. Everything that I mean, they give me the microphone. Who do I call out? Chris Garcia.
That's
I
right.
mean, it's inedible. I mean, give me the fight. I mean, just please fight me. I mean, I don't know how many times we gotta hear your excuses or whatever else, but I am the 135 division, and all these fighters need to. It's time that they recognize who the Nightmare Street is, and I'm here to stay, and I'm not going anywhere for a long time.
Hell yeah, I like that shit. Get Justin. All right,
Yes,
buddy.
sir.
Well, thanks again, man. I hope you have a great night. And yeah, buddy. Mr. Saturn and Nightmare Street in the house.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.